Well, Pat, the title for your show is Amendment, and usually I found when an artist actually titles an exhibition, it's really important to note that. So I just wanted to get a little insight into what that meant and how it relates to some of your paintings.
Yeah, I thought long and hard about what to title the show. I had like 12 different options, but it seemed like Amendment tied several things together. For one, my working process is constantly about building, adding on to. So the notion of amendment spoke to that. Mm-hmm. And then the text that's in several of the paintings is borrowed from the U.S. Constitution. This particular piece has elements of the 14th Amendment in it. So when I do that, I don't particularly want to be preachy about my message. In fact, I'd rather my work ask questions rather than make statements. Mm-hmm. But the simple fact that the 14th Amendment, which was written after the Civil War to prevent any of the people that fought for the Confederacy or worked for the Confederacy about being officials in the United States government. And then it's been reapplied after the January 6th insurrection here, but it's still open to interpretation as to was that severe enough to be, to apply the 14th Amendment. So, but the simple fact that I quote it kind of puts me on a political side. It doesn't seem like quoting the Constitution should be liberal or conservative, but the fact that it's there, it does kind of seem to be interpreted as a liberal point of view.
Okay, well that's really interesting. So was the whole idea of looking at the amendments, is that a pretty new interest of yours, or is it kind of, do you think it was inspired by the events of, say, the past 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I think it has been inspired. I've used text for decades, and I always like to employ words that were sort of loaded, Mm-hmm. I used to make compositions that were just collaged from the newspaper, but they was all jumbled up, so there were never complete sentences. But even so, you would look at it and you would see murder, or you would see keywords, and your eye would dance around the composition following those keywords. So I like to use things that use text that does have some sort of, power to it.
Power and a lot of layers of meaning, and you
Right.
talked about collage,
Mm-hmm.
and this is almost through the term amendment in the singular, which I think is kind of interesting. It's really about a plurality of meanings that you have in your work, like a collage would
Thank
have.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, good.